Hello everyone, I'm back with the another video. Okay, so this time I'm quite excited because bulk export CSV, this package has been upgraded to version 2.1, and in this new release we have a new method called download method. Okay, so I know let's go through it. Let's not waste time talking. Let's go and implement this method. So look, what is download method is like, as the name suggests, we can directly download the CSV. So what our conventional way was that, using this package, request will come on the server, and then we will, through the use of queue job, we will make the CSV, right? But if you're not going to have lots of records, just thousands of records you are going to have, then it does not make sense to go through queue job process, right? If like, if you can prepare CSU directly in front of the user and give it to the user, I think that's more good user experience, right? So for that, this new method is introduced. So if you know that there are not lots of data, so then better use the download method. Okay, and this method directly gives CSU to the user. We don't have to go through the entire queue mechanism process. So yeah, I mean, let's go and implement this. Let me show you like how we can integrate this into, even in with the single page application as well. So let's go step by step. Okay, so I have this Laravel project. So if you have watched my that video series, it has 4 videos. You will definitely able to like know this, that what this code, like this functions and everything. So like just let's go and start with this download method. Let's go and integrate it. So I will make the new API for it. I will call it bulk export CSV download. Okay, let's name this method download bulk export CSV. Okay, function download bulk export CSV. Let's inject request class here. Okay. So what this download method offers us? Okay, so this download method is similar to the build method that we have for the large CSV, right? This mail build method, they both are similar, actually similar in the sense of the parameters they require. Build method requires query, resource namespace, and you can also pass the columns and the data, right? So download method is also exactly the same. You can have query, resource namespace, then column and the data as it's written here. Okay, so let's go and let's do the code for it. So let's make a query, user query, and we are going to fetch user with their associated company. And then, and I think it will be better we can pass a query, like you can pass any something in the request parameter. Let's, I will copy this one. Okay, so if we have a company in the request, like if someone sends, like we want all those users which belong to the specific company, then we can have a query like this. Like we can just go to the company model and fetch only those users that belongs to the company that user is requesting. Okay, so we have the query here, and then we require the namespace. Okay, we require namespace. So I already have namespace configured here, common resource namespace, where we have name, email, contact number, and the company. So let's use the namespace common resource. I think we are good to go here, and we are done. Let's go bulk export CSV download method, and we require query as a first parameter, and then resource namespace. So I think API is done. We start the server, close 9000. Public. Okay, something is wrong. Yeah, we have this T part. Okay, it has started. So let's use browser for this. Okay, let's open the new tab. Inspect has not been called. Okay, here is the inspect. Let's open the network tab. So we have localhost 9000 API as our endpoint, because we are in the API folder, we are making the APIs. Okay, bulk CSV download. So like, let's hit the API now. Okay, so we have hit the API, and I think, let's stop this request. Okay, let's pass something in the query string, because we already configured this. We already expecting something from the user, right, in the request. So we go, and let's pass as a company name Google. So what this will give us is that we will get the CSV having users which belong to the company Google. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, so yeah, so you can see like it is directly preparing the CSV for us, in the browser itself. And if you inspect the API, you will see we like payload is company Google, and the preview we have not got any response. So from where the CSV is coming then? So like, this is the magic about this method. Like, we are directly preparing CSV on the fly. Okay, it's kind of like we are having some kind of live streaming here, like CSV is getting prepared. Okay, so it's done. We can open the CSV. Where is the CSV? Okay, here it is. So you can see all the users that belong to the company Google. So this is fantastic. So we have got all the records that like all the users belongs to the company Google. So like, you can see like, that the like, we have not prepared the CSV on the server. Okay, so server is directly forcing browser to prepare a CSV. It's just giving the data, and it itself is preparing the CSV for us. So one of the main benefit of this method is that like we don't have to fill server storage with the CSV, unnecessary CSV. Okay, we are just giving the like, that API itself just giving CSV directly, like forcing the browser to download the CSV directly. So this is the cool stuff about this method. Okay, and here you can read it like, one can pass column and data parameters to build. So it's already discussed. So download method creates CSV on the fly, that's without writing CSV on the disk, and it does download CSV file to the browser. So that it just prepares CSV on the fly and gives to the browser. So so like, this is the power of this method. So we can directly use it. Like, if you know that the records are not going to be huge, then directly use the download method. So like, as you see, like, I have called this API through the like through the browser itself. Now if you're going to have like single page application, like kind of like React, so how are you going to integrate it? So let's check it out. I will open one React project here, my template. Okay, so let's go and we npm start. This will start the project. So like, we have now two methods. The one is the build method. If your CS is going to be very huge, then better use the build method that we have here. If it's not going to be huge, just a smaller one, then you can directly use the download method. It's quite efficient, very efficient. So let's, like, this React project has been started. Let me go and log in. So this is kind of like a theme that you can see. It's a React theme. So just for the show purpose that I'm showing how we can use this method. So I have this user management. We have the export button here. Okay, so I will integrate this API on this export button. Okay, so let's go to the VS Code. This is export button we are having here. Okay, so let's go and give this on click. Let's export user function. Okay, const export user. So how are we gonna integrate this API? So just like we have called this API through the browser, we have to do same thing. So we can use JavaScript's location.href for it. Okay, window.location.href. Let's add this API. Okay, so I hope it has reloaded. So let's click on the export button. Okay, I think it has not reloaded. Let's refresh this page. So we are using location.href for it. So in a way, like you might be thinking that is it going to redirect on this URL and then it will give the CSV? No, we are going to stay on the same page. It will force browser to download the CSV. So we are not going to redirect anywhere. So it's kind of like it's kind of like that. The server is giving that CSV as kind of attachment to the single page application. So let's see. And you might be worried, like we are calling this API through the location.href, but like suppose this API needs authentication, like it's author out, then how are you going to authenticate? So for that you can use cookies, HTTP only cookies. Those cookies will get sent by default with this API. Okay, okay, so let's click on the export button. So you can see it started, and you can see CSV is there. Browser is like directly got the CSV. If you open the API, you can see this was the API, get request. Payload we sent Google, and in preview we got nothing because it's just preparing CSV on the fly and forcing browser to download it. So it's getting downloaded here. So you know, so like in a way, like we are making preparing huge CSV directly in front of the user, and we are not writing the CSV on this any server disk. We are just preparing on the fly. Like you can open the CSV, open it up, open it up, open it up. Okay, it has opened up. So you can see we got all the users which belong to the company Google. So now there is like like may raise a concern that how much it is efficient to call CSV to the href method, because we can send cookies, but like we have the HTML5 storage APIs, so why we have to use cookies here then? So how are we gonna process in that sense? Like if I want to like use the storage APIs for that, we can send a token as a bearer token, right? We cannot send bearer token with the location.href, right? And nobody wants to use cookies nowadays. I also hate cookies. So then let's see, then let's make an axios request and let's see what happens. Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, so we will call this API from the axios. Okay, right now browser is calling this API through the href. Let's call the API from the axios in a way from JavaScript itself. So go to axios, from axios use async await. Okay, axios.get await const data. Okay, so let's go log this data. What I will do is I will also make a use state. I mean, let's make a kind of a loading state. Okay, is loading, set is loading. It will be false. You can say let's make it true. Let's make it false again. Yeah. So if it says loading, if it is not loading, then we will have export the button like as the name of the button. Otherwise, we will say loading. So let's save this. Let's call the use state first. Use state, right? So I think we are good to go here. Uh, Let me refresh the page. I think it will take time to load. So basically, right now we will just check like if you make a request to Axios, then what will happen exactly? Will it force browser to download CSV or not? Because previously we are making request to the browser itself. Now we are making through the JavaScript in a way. So let's see what we get exactly. One of the thing is that if you're confused about which method to use, build or download, I will prefer like you can use the before exporting CSV, you can just get the count of records, okay, with the use of route with the count method. So if the count you think is like in lakhs, then we can use the build method. If it's not, it's just thousands, then go with the download method, I think. So we have the UI is loaded, so let me click on the export button. It's loading. So it has called the API. It's still loading. Has it called the API? Something is wrong, looks like. Oh, let's see, let's debug it. What's wrong? The sync. Wait, not get. It seems to be fine. Okay, I think I have not logged this. Shit. But okay, maybe I have not logged this, but at least we can check the API. See, you can see we have got something. Let me go and try it again. So it's loading. Still loading. Okay, finish it up, finish it up. See, here you can see it's still loading. Okay, we have not got anything in response yet. It's still in the phase of calling the API. I think there are lots of records, so it's taken some of the time. So in a way, like in the preview, you will get the content of the CSV file. Okay, see, you can see like API is being loaded. You can see console. So you can see like what is this data, name, email, contact number, companies. So this is nothing but a CSV file content. So if you call this API through JavaScript, you will get the content of the CSV file. So now what to do? So it's easy. Like if we got the content in the front end, right? So with the use of this content, we can directly make a CSV. So it's not the front end job to deal with the files. But now if you got the CSV content, we can definitely use the blob API of JavaScript to make CSV in the front end. So let's do it then. So let's do it. So make a blob object. Okay, new blob. It accepts first parameter as the data of a file in an array, and then second one as the type of the file, x slash csv. Okay, now we need to make an url through this blob object. Okay, const url, create object url, and let's put this blob object. So we got the URL. Through this URL, we will directly get the CSV file. Okay, but we need to call this URL, right? So we can make an anchor tag on the fly. Okay, so it's just like for the like demonstration purpose, we are doing this. Document dot create element anchor tag. We can have element dot ref as this URL, and then you know Anchor tag also has download property. In download, I can we can name the CSV file, right? So let's name the CSV file as a test. It will take CSV extension automatically from this type, so we don't have to worry about that. When I will click on the element dot click, so this will download the CSV file for us. Then I will revoke this URL as it is of no use once we download the CSV file, right? URL revoke object URL. This is the URL that we need to revoke. Basically, what's happening is that we got the content of the CSV file. Then through the blob object, we made the CSV file. Okay, and through the create object URL, we made the temporary URL through which we will get the CSV file. But to call the CSV file, we need some kind of functionality, right? So anchor tag gives us, like, we made an anchor tag or dummy anchor tag on the fly. It is not somewhere appended on the document. It is just like the JavaScript only knows it. Okay, so we made the anchor tag. We attached URL to its href, and then we added the download parameter, so it will directly download the CSV for us. Okay, so let's go and do this. So I hope it has been loaded here. Let's click on the export. So it's loading. So API must be getting called. It's still called the API. It's still loading. Load it up, load it up. Okay, so you are seeing that CSV is downloaded for us. So it is test.csv, but in my download folder there are already lots of test.csv, so it's renamed itself. So let's open it up. Okay, and here we go. We have the all the records. We got all the users that belongs to the company Google. So you got the idea, right? So now you don't need to worry about like browser making the request. Now you can make a request to JavaScript as well. You just need to know that you will get the content of CSV. Then with the use of blob object, you can directly download the CSV. So yeah, I mean, this is the new method in this package, and I think this is quite phenomenal, right? It just you know just makes developers life quite easy. I mean, you don't need to upload the CSV on the server and give to the user. It's just like force the browser to download CSV. You can also use single page application and use this download method there as well, like I have shown you. So it's there, like you can see here. You need to let browser call the API. You can use location texture for it. If one prefers to call API from Ajax, then you get content of CSV, just like we got the content of CSV. Then if there is a blob object, we made the CSV. And yeah, I mean, here is the important if one is to use download method only, then there is no need of any configuration. One can use build method and download method based on their preferred choice. If data to export is huge, which one can know using count method, count, then better to go with build method. Otherwise download method can also be right choice. So yeah, I mean, this is the new upgrade version 2.1. I hope you guys will use it in your project, and if you have any query, yeah, I'm always available. So yeah, I mean, thank you so much.